This is a sting-up!
Who are you?
Who am I? If I knew the answer to that, I wouldn't be wearing a mask.
There are people who believe that this world is fair and good. It's all lollipops and rainbows. We don't do lollipops and rainbows. We know those are pretty colors that just hide what the world really is. Black and white.
Soon thou shalt save us, and we will whisper, "Come."
We convinced ourselves that they were gone, but they were just hibernating. They came for everybody. All please.
Coordinated simultaneous attacks at the homes of Tulsa PD. So the cops hide their faces, and now the bad guys don't know where they live. And who doesn't want a secret identity?
Ta-da!
People who wear masks are dangerous. We should be scared of them.
Why?
Because they're hiding something.
Lori Blake, FBI. You know how you can tell the difference between a masked cop and a vigilante?
No.
Me neither.
There was a vast and insidious conspiracy at play. If I told you about it, your head would explode.
Who are you?
Maybe, I'm Dr. Manhattan.
He lives on fucking Mars.
You curse too much.
It's only just begun.
Happy Comic-Con week, everyone. Dr. Manhattan has returned to Earth, so we got a brand new Watchmen HBO trailer and a release date for the series, so we'll break all the Easter eggs down and explain what's going on with the story. Because it's Comic-Con week, we're doing that new giveaway for the IMAX tickets. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave your favorite Watchmen moment on the video. I'll name a new winner at the end of this. As you probably knew before this, based on the last trailer they released, Jeremy Irons is playing an older version of Ozymandias. It seems like the world believes he's dead at the beginning of the series because they place a couple very obvious newspaper headlines throughout the trailer, giving you very special information, and the first one is Adrian Veidt believed to be dead. But later in the trailer, he sets off this explosion. He's very clearly hiding out in one of his mansions, and it seems like he sets things in motion using a very similar type of tragedy that he did at the end of the original series. So just to be clear, this is 30 years after the original series, so that's why a lot of the characters from the original story are older characters on the show being played by some very famous actors. I'll explain who they are, but Jeremy Irons is just one of them, playing the older version of Ozymandias. We finally see Dr. Manhattan show back up on Earth at the end of the trailer amidst this celebration. If you couldn't tell the blue hands because the lighting in the trailer is kind of dark, he picks up the blue mask, then looks at it, but they don't reveal his face. So I don't know who the actor is that they cast to play that character, because before this had happened, it was only a theory that he would show up. Like, I was guessing that they would use that as their sort of Game of Thrones White Walker reveal with the Night King, like they would save it for a future season or the season finale. But if they're putting it in the trailer here, he might actually show up before the end of the first season. But I would be very surprised if this is something that happens in the first episode. It's probably something that they build up to after they do a little bit of world building to let you know what the world is like in present day. We see the Owl ship, so now I'm wondering, because Don Johnson is piloting it there, trying to take down this other airplane, if he's playing an older version of Night Owl 2. But they open a trailer with a vigilante that looks like a newer version of Hooded Justice crashing through this store window to stop a robbery. You see cans of beans on the shelf, then you see the Looking Glass character somewhere else watching it all unfold on TV, eating beans out of a can, which is a reference to Rorschach eating beans out of a can during the original series. Then they lay in this vast conspiracy storyline where you have the cult of Rorschach, which clearly knows the truth about what happened from the original series. I think the idea is that they're the ones that read Rorschach's journal and believed what he said. So maybe when it was published after the events of the original series, everybody read it, but only some people believed what he was saying in it, and some people believed the lie that Ozymandias was trying to perpetrate. You see the Angela Abram character, played by Regina King. She's one of the main characters of the series. She's both a vigilante and a detective on the police force. The whole idea in the present day of the series is that vigilantes, since the events of the first series, have been outlawed. The only way that you can continue to be a vigilante is if you're a member of a law enforcement agency. So that means the police, that means the FBI. We learned that Jean Smart is playing the older version of Silk Spectre 2 from the original series, but she's a member of the FBI now. And she's using her father's name, so it seems like after the events of the original series, she never wound up getting married to Night Owl. But obviously, like I said, it's implied that he's being played by Don Johnson in the present series, so they do have scenes together. So even if they're not together romantically in present day of the series, they still have all that history together. So a lot of the scenes from the original trailer where he's talking about the end of the world make a little more sense, where they're talking playfully to each other. There's a reference to the original Minutemen with the comedian in Hooded Justice. You see the line, comedy beats tragedy. That's actually a reference to tragedy plus time equals comedy, more honoring the legacy of the comedian's cynical sense of humor. Like the whole conspiracy storyline that characters talk about during the trailer, it seems like things have gotten better for the world, but also worse at the same time. Because, as Jean Smart's Silk Spectre character says, because you can't tell the difference between a vigilante and a cop wearing a mask. Like they're trying to make the cult of Rorschach seem like this group of radicals because you see them standing with this older version of the American flag. When they're burying the cop earlier in the trailer, you see a very different version of the American flag in present day with way more than 52 stars. But when you see this cult of Rorschach in the trailer park here assembling, you see the statue of Nixon from the original series with an old classic version of the American flag. So it's just a reminder that this is an alternate history and so much time has gone by, a lot of stuff has changed, some things for the worse, as this conspiracy storyline is implying. One of my favorite Easter eggs for this, though, is when they're sort of going back and forth between the different personas of Regina King's character, her vigilante detective persona when she's taking down these criminals in this cult of Rorschach, but also when she's in the classroom with these little kids making the smiley face symbol with cracked eggs in the bowl. If you look over on the side of this scene here, it says important U.S. presidents, and Robert Redford's picture is on there. There's a newspaper later in the series saying that he's not seeking re-election, so it's hard to say how long he's been president, but they're trying to say that whatever it is that he did while he was president and whatever Nixon did while he was president during the original series is as important for U.S. history as what Lincoln and George Washington did. That's like saying they're the greatest U.S. presidents in history, so whatever it is that Robert Redford did during his term, it sounds like it's going to be huge. You may have also noticed that Black Manta from the Aquaman movie is playing Regina King's husband on the series. The tick-tock chant of the cult of Rorschach, obviously a reference to the Doomsday Clock from the original series, and now in present day they're counting down to another tragedy, but also in a larger context, they're counting down to the return of Dr. Manhattan. I love the way that they go to that live stream. It's 24/7 live stream. Dr. Manhattan returns to Mars because he was on Mars. He said that he was going away at the end of the original series to create life and experiment with his powers in some alternate dimension. Dr. Manhattan is one of the most powerful comic book characters in history. He's vastly, vastly more powerful than characters like Superman. He can rearrange matter on the molecular level with a thought. He can instantly teleport himself across the universe with a thought, and he can see into the future. So he's virtually omniscient, more of a literal god instead of being a metaphorical god in the sense of a Superman character. So if he's coming back onto the series, and if there's this long-running conspiracy going on, I'm curious to see how it tries to rope him into things. Because the whole idea of the original series is that he was being misled by Ozymandias right up until the end when he realized what was going on, then agreed to go along with it because he recognized it as necessary for the human race to progress. But clearly, based on Ozymandias' actions in the trailer, his actions in the original series did not have their intended effect. You see him on horseback riding past the flag from Tales of the Black Freighter. There's all these scenes with Regina King talking to this little girl here, so it's hard to tell what her role is in the series, but it seems like she gets tied up in this larger conspiracy that she starts to uncover. It's hard to tell who Lou Gossett Jr. is playing on the series, but he might be playing an older version of a character from the original series. He jokes that he might be Dr. Manhattan, but clearly he's not meant to be Dr. Manhattan because he shows up at the end of the trailer. The other detective character in the red tracksuit is called Red Scare. He's based on Russian Soviet tropes. He's just another member of the police force. Remember, if you want to be a sanctioned vigilante, you have to be a member of the police or the FBI in the case of Silk Spectre. If you notice the scene of the courtroom here, if you look at the picture in the background, it's a picture of the monster from the end of the original comic series, so it seems like they're being true to that. So within the fictional world of this Watchmen series, that's actually what happened at the end instead of what happened at the end of the movie. So just to be clear, this is a sequel to the comic book series, not a sequel to the movie. So if you're a big Alan Moore comic book Watchmen fan, you'll probably enjoy a lot of this, and you'll probably notice a bunch of the Easter eggs. They're saying that the series is premiering in October, so I'm assuming that's the beginning of October because they'd have to finish all 10 episodes by the beginning of December, so I would plan on October 6th being the premiere date. Of course, I'll be doing weekly episode videos for it in Easter eggs. If there are any big Easter eggs you spotted in the trailer that I did not mention in the video, just post them in the comments below. But there'll be a big Marvel Phase 4 Comic-Con panel tonight, so of course my next video will be for whatever they drop during that. As long as you have alerts enabled for my channel, you'll see the video when I post it, so no worries. Congratulations to Eduardo Cortez, you're the giveaway winner from my last big video. Please email me on the About page of my channel so I can get your details. Click here for The Witcher Netflix trailer with Henry Cavill, Superman himself, talk about DC Universe, and click here for that brand new Rick and Morty Season 4 Comic-Con trailer. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.